Do wife number 1 and number 2 ever spend the night in the caravan with you at the same time?
No.
They tend for their children. They also work.
We all work.
You don't work.
Oh, yes, I do work.
Yeah, I know your argument on this. Just give it to us. You say, I look after my kids. What's wrong with a man looking after his kids other than a woman?
That's correct. What is wrong with a man looking after his children? I mean, I'm old-fashioned. I believe the man should be at work, but unfortunately, because the media keeps putting a certain story in the paper, I cannot get a job.
You can't get a job because of what?
Criminal record.
There you are in this situation where there are 2 women in your life who seem to accept it. You've said, I'm a red-blooded male. If it's on a plate, I'll accept it. What happens if another woman comes onto the scene?
No, to be honest, I'm going to accept it. I mean, what am I going to turn around now and say to all these lot here,
Good morning everyone, how you doing? It's Paul here from Unusual Things. I am in a very wet and windy Derby this morning. I am at Victory Road. It is absolutely chucking it down. But today we have come because this is one video for the crime files. Now I know I look a bit drenched already, but I want to tell this story, and as I'm here, I wanted to visit the house of where this crime happened. Now, this is the crime where 6 children were killed in a house fire, and the father's name was a Mr. Mick Philpott. Now, Mr. Philpott had previously been complaining to the council that he wanted bigger house, more room, and he was allegedly the father of 17 children. But I don't think they all lived with him. I think there were by about 5 different women in total. But he did have a mistress living with him, as well as his wife, who also bore his children. And yeah, I'll tell you a little bit more about the information when we get to the cemetery as we walk around there. But what I wanted to do is just give you an idea and to show you the location itself. Now, obviously we're in a residential area, so I'm going to be very mindful. But if you can see behind me, there's like a beige building sort of thing, cream coloured. That's where the house used to stand, 18 Victory Road. It's obviously been torn down. I think it was torn down like 2 years or 18 months later, something like that. But he deliberately started a fire. He wanted to cause some disruption to a court case that was going on, which I will tell you a bit about later on. And he wanted to play the hero. He wanted to rescue his children. So him, his wife, and a friend of his concocted some story to try and blame his live-in mistress. Sadly, it went wrong. 6 of the children perished, 5 quite soon, and 1 a few days later on. But I'll tell you more about that real soon. Now what we'll do is we'll just have a little walk past the house without me talking, just so I can be discreet and give you a little bit of info and see it close up as well. So I'm just going to try and walk past discreetly. It's this first house here on the right. And it's number 2 there, but it was number 18 previously. Just to give you an idea. And then obviously the house which was next door got torn down as well. So there you have the house in which this terrible, terrible tragedy took place through a man's greed and a man who didn't want to go to court over allegations of crimes, but now spends a life sentence in there. He'd previously been in court as well, or previously been in prison, I should say, for other offences. Attempted murder on one of his ex-girlfriends. But I'll tell you a little bit more about that real soon. We're going to head over to the cemetery now and pay our final respects to the 6 Philpott children that sadly lost their lives on that night in that house fire due to their father's greed. There's no words for it really, is there? Let's go over there now. Okay, so I'm now at Cemetery Lodge in Derby. I've bought some flowers from all of us for the 6 Philpott children. As I always try to do on these victims of crime videos, I always like to make sure that from all of us, like I say, we pay our respects. As you can see, it's absolutely chucking it down still today. This is a big cemetery and I really don't know where I'm going. Usually, you know, I might have an idea somewhere, at least a location, a plot or something like that. The flowers are getting a good water in, so that's a good thing. But with this one, not a clue, not a Scooby-Doo. So we'll have a little look around and then, if all else fails, I'll break for cover somewhere and you know, we'll see if we can find out where we're going. But what I'll do is, in the meantime, I'll obviously tell you about what happened with the Philpott family on this crime files and how the 6 young children, just kids, awful, ended up here in this cemetery. We'll do that now. Mick Philpott, born 1956, is an Englishman who, having gained notoriety as a criminal and for his polyamorous and benefits-funded lifestyle, subsequently caused the deaths of 6 of his children by arson and was sentenced to life imprisonment for their manslaughter in April 2013. Philpott's attitude to women has been described as controlling, domineering, violent and manipulative. In July 1978, aged 21, while absent without leave from the army, he attempted to murder his girlfriend, Kim Hill, with whom he had a 2-year relationship, beginning when she was 15 years old. Philpott had previously shot Hill in the groin with a crossbow because he felt her dress had been too short, and had cracked her kneecap with a hammer when she paid too much attention to a baby she had been minding. Philpott attempted to kill Hill because she sent him a letter saying she was leaving him, stabbing her over a dozen times as she was lying in bed. He stabbed her mother when she came to her daughter's aid. Hill suffered collapsed lungs, a punctured bladder, kidney and liver, which she believes caused her subsequent liver cancer. Philpott was convicted of attempted murder of Hill and grievous bodily harm with intent against her mother, and was sentenced to 7 years in prison in December 1978. Philpott was released after 3 years and 2 months. He married Pamela Lomax in 1986, had 3 children with Lomax, 2 sons and a daughter. She said that Philpott was controlling and she prayed he would move on to someone else. Her wish was fulfilled when Philpott met Heather Kehoe, then aged 14, in Rainworth, Nottinghamshire. Philpott was 37. On her 16th birthday, Kehoe ran away from her parents to live with Philpott. She gave birth to 2 children, both boys, in quick succession, but Philpott wanted a daughter and beat Kehoe for this reason. She described Philpott teaching his older sons to be violent with her. He wanted Kehoe to produce more children, but she did not conceive again. When she tried to run away, Philpott threatened her with violence that he would do with her as he had done with Kim Hill. In 1991, Philpott was given a 2-year conditional discharge for assault, occasioning actual bodily harm for headbutting a colleague. In 2000, he met Mairead Duffy, a 19-year-old single mother born in England to an Irish family who had left a previous abusive relationship. She moved into Philpott's house shortly after, and the couple married in May 2003. In 2001, Philpott met Lisa Willis, a 16-year-old orphan and single mother. Philpott invited Willis to move into his council house, which was larger than hers, in 2002. After moving in, the pair started a relationship and Philpott began to beat Willis, attacking her with a piece of wood after accusing her about lying over the father of her child. Lisa Willis was a bridesmaid at the wedding of Mick and Mairead on the 23rd of December 2002. Having left Philpott, Kehoe finally gained legal custody of her 2 children. Philpott marked this event each year by smashing the family's Christmas tree, the violence showing his anger at his children being taken away. Philpott was heavily criticised in the tabloid media in 2006, when he requested a larger council house to house his family, which then consisted of his wife, Mairead Philpott, then aged 25, his mistress, Lisa Willis, then 22, and 4 children born to Mrs. Philpott, 3 to Lisa Willis, and Lisa Willis's child fathered prior to meeting him. The 1978 conviction for attempted murder was revealed at this time. After Willis gave birth to her 4th child by Philpott in 2006, the press revealed that both she and Mairead Philpott were expecting babies due in March 2007. Before their birth, Philpott appeared on the Jeremy Carr Show in 2007 to defend his lifestyle, saying that he would like to marry one woman and divorce the other to be fair, and added that he would have a vasectomy. He appeared in the documentary Anne Widdecombe vs. the Benefits Culture 2007, in which the former Conservative minister Anne Widdecombe spent a week with him and tried to get him to change his lifestyle. Nancy Banks-Smith in The Guardian reported that she gave him a large slice of her mind, but decamped rather than sleep in his caravan. Widdecombe found Philpott 3 jobs, one of which was with a barrel-making firm, but he did not turn up for work on the first day, and the job fell through. In the documentary, Philpott was shown to be living in a caravan in his garden, in which his wife and mistress would alternate in spending the evenings with him. Widdecombe said that Philpott did not care about anyone and that he called both his wife and mistress bitch. Widdecombe said she noticed that none of the children sought any affection from him. Philpott and Lisa Willis became estranged in February 2012, and she left to live with her sister and brother-in-law, along with her 4 children by Philpott and her son by a different father. On the day of the fire, intended as a means of framing Willis to gain child custody, Philpott and Willis were due in court over the hearing of the children. On the 11th of May 2012, the family's home at 18 Victory Road, Allington, Derby, was seriously damaged by fire at around 4 a.m. 5 children, Jade 10, John 9, Jack 7, Jessie 6 and Jaden 5, who had been asleep upstairs, all died at the scene, while their half-brother, Dwayne Philpott, aged 13, died in hospital 3 days later. In the days following the fire, the family's local Catholic church held memorial services. On the 16th of May, Philpott and his wife held an emotional news conference in which he purported to describe the events concerning the fire. A charity, Catch Me When I Fall, was set up by local residents to help the family of the children. A book of condolence at Derby Cathedral was later signed by hundreds of people. A fund to pay for the funerals raised over £11,000 by members of the public living in the same area as the Philpotts. The children's joint funeral took place on the 22nd of June 2012 at St Mary's Church, Derby. Mick and Mairead Philpott, by then on remand on murder charges, were denied leave to attend. On the 14th of May, police stated that petrol had been found inside the letterbox, thus sparking a murder investigation. Lisa Willis, Philpott's live-in mistress, had left the family home with her 4 children a few months before the fire, and the custody hearing for those children was scheduled to take place on the morning of the fire. Willis and her brother-in-law, Ian Cousins, were initially arrested on suspicion of murder, but were released without charge. Philpott behaved erratically for someone who had recently lost several of his children, according to witnesses, and appeared to like the attention. The police bugged the Philpotts' hotel room, gaining evidence confirming the couple were responsible for the fire, including the involvement of Paul Mosley, with whom Mairead Philpott was heard engaging in sexual intercourse. Philpott and his wife were arrested on suspicion of murder on the 28th of May 2012. After seeking additional time for questioning, the couple were charged with murder on the 30th of May 2012. A discarded petrol container and glove had been found near the house, and in November, the forensic investigators discovered that the clothes of the Philpotts and Mosley had petrol on them. On the 5th of November 2012, a 49-year-old man and a 45-year-old man were arrested on suspicion of murder. Later that day, the 45-year-old man, Paul Mosley, was charged with murder. The other man was released without charge. Mosley appeared in court the following day in December 2012. His charge was downgraded to manslaughter. Paul Mosley had been previously arrested in the inquiry and was released on bail in June 2012. He was re-arrested and charged when petrol was found on his clothing following further forensic examination. In December 2012, the charges were reduced to manslaughter as it was decided that Philpott and his wife had not intended to kill their children. The trial was held at Nottingham Crown Court beginning on the 12th of February 2013. Richard Latham QC led the prosecution on behalf of the Crown Prosecution Service. On the 2nd of April, Mick and Mairead, along with Paul Mosley, were each found guilty of the manslaughter of the 6 children. Sentencing was due to take place on the 3rd of April, but was postponed as the judge, Mrs. Justice Thirlwell, wanted more time to consider the sentence. Philpott's prior criminal convictions, which had not been revealed to the jury, were disclosed at this point. On the 4th of April, Philpott was sentenced to life imprisonment, with a minimum tariff of 15 years, and his wife and Mosley were each sentenced to 17 years, of which they will serve at least half before any release on licence. As a result of the trial, Lisa Willis and her children were given a new legal identity in order to protect them from being the subject of media attention. The children were asleep upstairs in the house when the fire began, with their parents downstairs. Their father, Mick Philpott, was reported to have made valiant attempts to save all of the children. Jade, John, Jack, Jesse and Jaden were all killed in the fire. Post-mortem tests revealed the children died of smoke inhalation. Their brother, Dwayne Philpott, died in hospital 2 days later. 2 adults suffered minor injuries in the fire but have not been formally identified. Police confirmed that the fire was started deliberately with petrol underneath the letterbox in an act of arson, stating that initial indications are that it was deliberately set, and as a result, 6 children have been unlawfully killed. Okay, so we're going to come over now to where the young children are, the Philpott family. In loving memory of beautiful and talented boy Dwayne Ashley Philpott, 30th December 1998 to 12th of May 2012, aged 13 years. Memories of you are a precious gift. In loving memory of a beautiful and shy boy Jack Alvis Aaron Philpott, 13th March 2004 to 11th May 2012, aged 8 years. Memories of you are a precious gift. In love and memory of our beautiful miracle boy, Jaden Callum Philpott, 7th of February 2007 to 11th May 2012, age 5. Memories of you are a precious gift. As we come around the other side, in loving memory of a beautiful and creative girl, Jade Louise Philpott, 26th August 2001 to 11th of May 2012, aged 10 years. Memories of you are a precious gift. In loving memory of a beautiful bouncy boy, Jesse James Philpott, 30th August 2005 to 11th May 2012, aged 6. Memories of you are a precious gift. In love and memory of a beautiful and charming boy, John Simon David Philpott, 9th October 2002 to 11th May 2012. Memories of you, aged 9 years. Memories of you are a precious gift. So what I'm going to do, everyone, is I've got some flowers here and I'm just going to put them down in between each section. So there's just a few there from all of us, okay? I'll put them down there. And put some in the end there for us. I'm not very good at floral arranging, as you can tell probably, but you know, it's from all of us. Now, as with all these crime files ones that I do where there's kids involved, it's always really tough. I just want to say sorry to you all Bless you. Step over. You know, it's tough doing kids ones, and I do get stick sometimes. People say, no, you shouldn't do it, shouldn't do it. I'm doing it for their memory. Nothing to do with their vile, grotesque, poor excuse of a father. How can a father put petrol for his own letterbox to try and make himself a hero by rescuing his kids, which he knew were in bed asleep, and all 6 of them, 6 of his children died? It's sickening, it really is. It's vile, it's sickening.
We've decided that through our son Dwayne, and unfortunately the last one to pass away, that we're going to donate his organs to save another child, which is what we want, because if you can save another child, that makes us happy. It takes a bit of the pain away. And we can't express our gratitude to everybody that's been concerned with the case, with what's been going on.
How any person could ever do that, let alone a father. And that man, when he, you know, I'm not religious, but if he gets a judgment day, I'd like to be there, I tell you. Absolutely disgusting. Poor kids. 6 kids. No, you know, no future now, no life, because of one man's greed. Wanted more money, didn't want to do a day's work in his life. Wanted you, me, everyone else to pay for him. Bigger house, more kids. Doesn't deserve kids, that man. There's people on the planet that can't have them. And someone like him. Anyway, sorry. I try not ever to make it about the people that do these crimes. I try to make it about the victims. So yeah, 6 Philpott kids. Terrible, terrible. And yeah, it's such a shame that we've got to come out on a day like this, really. As they say in The Crow, the film The Crow, can't rain all the time. Anyway, yeah, leave your comments and, you know, usual stuff. If you remember the case well. Like I say, I do these sorts of ones to remember the victims. It's never about the person. He's had enough limelight, being on Jeremy Kyle's show, being on another show with Anne Widdecombe, because he doesn't basically want to work. He wants people like us to pay. And even now, you know, he's in prison getting paid for by us. I know what I'd do with him. I don't usually voice my opinions on these, but yeah. Anyway, look at it. Absolutely. Do you know what? It's a shame. It's a beautiful, beautiful cemetery. It's a big, big cemetery. It's a bit cold, bit wet, bit damp, bit gross. So I will see you all. Leave your comments down below on the next one. Take it easy.